system. Now he served with BIS, where the final posting as Chief Managing Director. He headed with the Indian operations of Canadian standards in India. He is also the certification committee member of BME scheme as well as HEALTEXPRO scheme. So today he is here to tell about the certification process of BME scheme and your HEALTEXPRO scheme. So over to you, Sathyendra sir.
Thank you, Karthik, and good afternoon to all of you. So let me now share the screen and we start.
We can hear you.
So the certification process basically you have already heard about all the scheme and everything. So now what we are going to do is talk about how do you do that. So all these documents, as you already understood, you need to go through it in little detail, and then normally the questions would come. But I would like to explain in a very simple manner how this scheme works. So basically, there is an application form which is there on the website of AMT. You fill up that application form and submit to the certification body, which is going to do the accreditation for you, which is going to certify the product. So the certification body's process is that they will evaluate. Now, this is common for both schemes, whether it is a health textile scheme or the maintenance scheme, the situation is same. They will audit, or rather, I can say, evaluate the application, look at what you are going to offer, whether it is the maintenance, how many equipments and all that, through a competent person. And then if the application is okay, they will proceed further. Karthik, next. So they can always, why we have told in the previous slide, there can be an expert is, basically you may not have expertise in all the fields. So in such cases, what we do is we may hire a technical expert, which is basically an expert in the domain who would understand that, yes, this is the basically thing, and then go through that. So that is what we are looking at. And then we can always, put into the how many equipments are required, all that we decide, and basically look at the risk also involved, complicated equipment, such as, it could be a MRI device in the maintenance scheme, or it could be a textile which requires sterilization, a surgical room, textile, or is it a normal bed or a drape in the ward. So depending on all that, the risks are seen, and then the CB would inform the applicant. CB here is the certification body, and applicant is the organization, the hospital, maintenance, independent planner, whoever it is, who is going to operate this scheme. So that is how it is. So we look at also the CVs as told by Karthik few minutes back. We have to look at the competency. Are the people competent? Because end of the day, we want only the competent guys to come and do this job. Because you and I ultimately are the users of the schemes one way or other. Because all of us, end up someday or others for something to a hospital. So I would like to have my bed clean and not infect me from that, or the device which is being used to diagnose, because 90% of the diagnosis today is equipment based. So what happens if the equipment is not maintained? Does it show some tumor where it is not there? Anything can happen, because most of it is software based, and appliances, as electrical products are known to drift, deviate and all that. So the entire thing, both the schemes have been made primarily to look at our health. So coming back again, the certification body will inform how many days of evaluation is required. After looking and finding that, yes, they have the competent people, and number of the equipments, multi-location, and in the laundry, number of, type of garments, textiles, type of disinfection, whether it is sterilized, it's mending, the laundry process, all this would define the number of days required. Yeah, next, Karthik. So once that is done, we have a sampling process. And you would have seen already in the document, though it was, in the first document, there are various sampling processes, and this is based on ISO 3951. This is a standard on sampling. The part one is used when you have a single attribute. Like I am going to verify only one characteristic. Part two is for multiple characteristics. And then part three is a double sampling plan. So you could use any of them or any equivalent national, international sampling plan. We have deliberately put the ISO as the scheme is open globally, as already Karthik has told. And this is very critical because we know that even a 100% inspection doesn't create a 100% perfection in any product. There is something known as AQL. Those who are little bit knowing about statistics would know that 95% is the best we could achieve. So all these things matter when we see as the criticality of the particular operation. So next one. And yes, also the regulatory requirements, whether it is gone by CDSCO, whether it is gone by any other regulator in any country, that also we look at it. Because as Dr. told in the beginning, there are garments, there are products which come under regulatory scheme. And then the sampling process is very simple. Sampling process, as I told you, for the BEMC scheme, it depends on the equipments. What is the kind of maintenance you are doing, whether it is preventive or predictive, whatever it is, and list of testing equipment available. Because here, if it's an active device, powered device, we need certain safety devices. I mean, the safety test equipments, like we measure the leakage current, we measure whether the earthing is proper of the equipment. If that is not proper, the patient could get a shock. And we look at the insulation, and also certain basic test equipments would be available, or rather should be available. We look at that, we look at the number of sites, and then depend on how many sites we should sample, depending on the equipment also, which is more critical. I know how to maintain a very critical equipment. I may not really go into a smaller equipment, which is not that critical. So that is one thing we see. Next. So evaluation always is conducted in 2 stages. And this is as per, we have international standards on it. When we do or certify any product, we follow these stages for any certification. The first stage, even before the first stage, we have done the document review. As you all know, we have looked at the application, we have looked at what you have applied for, the competency you have, and what you aim to get at. And then we look at the readiness, all the facts. This is normally known as the office assessment. After seeing all the documents submitted on paper, the certification body moves over to the office. Once they come to the office, they can directly interview, talk to your people who are going to operate the scheme, who are going to witness and certify the scheme, whether it is for healthcare textiles or for the equipment maintenance. Relevant competencies as given in the document, and the experience, work on, the real practical experience. We look at all that. We look at what are the procedures, because the certification, the body, they have to have well-laid procedures for competency. How do I take a person? All those things are reviewed. And then if everything is okay, there are no non-conformities, or those, if at all they are there, they have been, taken care of. The second stage. Second stage is basically a witness audit. This is where the certification body would come and observe you doing the maintenance. Observe you how the maintenance provider is doing, and how you are going to observe. Do you have a proper checklist? How are you looking at it? All those things normally are done within 3 months. So you will have to offer a witness in the stage 2. The certification body is present, and you as the basically the organization doing the job, you will have to show how you do it. So that is basically the stage 2. Yeah, next, Karthik. In case of non-conformities, we have some duration. Minor non-conformities, maybe one instrument was not calibrated, but it was still used, or a small flaw in the washing or something, a minor one, which is not basically one of a time, we call it. So they are given 30 days. A major non-conformity, you're not following a procedure, or you're doing something which directly affects the quality of your results. Those type of things are known as major non-conformities, or you have a procedure, you have something in black and white, but you are not following it. So these type of things come under major non-conformities, where normally there is a follow-up evaluation and a 15 days period is given. So that is how it is. Yeah, next. Okay, we have this option of closing or rejection based on the following condition. You are not taken any corrective action, and we give another month and 3 months you have not done anything, then we definitely would close. If we find that you are misusing, you have applied for a particular category and then we find that you are maintaining something else, or in the textile category, something what you have applied for, you are doing something else which is not in the scope. So such things can be misuse, considered as misuse, and then we can reject it with a 15 days show cause notice. So we are, for those who misuse, there is a cooling period of 1 year. This is as per the international norms. Of course, there could be voluntary withdrawal. And remember, in all cases, whatever application fee you have paid is not refundable. It's forfeited. So that's where it is. Next. Evaluation report is the final report. Once everything goes well, there is a detailed report prepared. And what should it contain? It should contain the identification of the certification body who made that, and of course, the unique identification of the report number, dates of issue. This is all sent to you. Dates of evaluation, what are the equipment or textile inspected and evaluated, and of course, signature and other indication of approval and statement of conformity. Name and calibration of status of the instrument. This is also a part of that, because we would like to also tell that, okay, we use these instruments and they were all calibrated. And when calibration means calibrated at an accredited lab, that is an NABL accredited lab in India. Of course, there are now other agencies also coming in doing accreditation. So you could perhaps choose any of them. So based on everything, certification body will take a decision after reviewing the report, and then they also have to be given to an independent reviewer. In all the certifications and accreditations, there are 3 levels of scrutiny. I do an audit, my audit is scrutinized by somebody else, and ultimately there is an independent reviewer, or you can call it as a committee, who can review the whole document and say, yes, everybody has done good, and now you can issue the certification. So next, Karthik. Yeah, what will have the certificate will have the CB, whoever has issued, reference to the healthcare scheme, scope, name, logo of the scheme, which I think you have seen and you can again see when you open the documents, certificate number, expiration, the date of expiry, and it's the same as any other certificate. Yeah, next. Validity, yes, 3 years. First surveillance within 9 months from the date of issuance. Second surveillance is unannounced. So this is something we have done. First surveillance would be as usual, like any management system, after 9 months announced. But the second surveillance during the second year, 4 to 6 months before the expiry, would be an unannounced visit. So that is the difference. The next. See, basically termination, reduction, suspension, we would not like any of you to enter into this kind of mode. But anyway, you should know that appropriate actions based on misuse or reduction in the scope of certification, yes, we can do that. Suddenly, see, the competency of certification body, competency of your organization may change, because there is a lot of attrition. Somebody goes, now you don't have anybody to do the maintenance of the MRI or maybe the CT scanner, then you would request the CB that, yeah, reduce my scope. I would like to do maintenance of only these things, or it can be enhancement also. And if you don't renew in time, don't offer, some people have this issue with surveillance audits, they don't offer the date and this and that. Those type of things, there will be a suspension. Withdrawal is the ultimate. find that you are misusing, you don't have the competence, you are not keeping the certification body informed, and there are many reasons where total non-compliance to the scheme definitely would lead into withdrawal. Next. So what records are maintained? Basically, we have all the records of the certification process, and I think you already seen some of them. And this is in general to 17065, which is the certification standard, the ISO standard. All the records are kept confidentially by the certification body, and any transmission to the organization or to the accreditation body would be always with confidentiality, whether it is in a soft form or a hard form. Those things are to be maintained. Complete reevaluation is done once in 3 years. All the records are definitely to be retained for the current and previous cycle, and traceability should be, possible, appropriately safeguarded. Soft means password, protection, backup, all that in the hard copy. Of course, not many use them now, but then, okay, keep it in a proper place. Don't come and tell us that, rats have eaten away everything. So those things are to be avoided. Yes, Karthik. Next. This is again common to all the schemes. If there are any complaints, you can always complain to the CB. You didn't like the auditor, you didn't like his questioning mode, or there are any, unfavorable, unethical practices seen. You can always complain to the certification body. And if the certification body does not heed, you can always go to the scheme owner or even the accreditation body. So appeals are where a decision is not favorable, but you could make amends. So you can always appeal that please change the decision in my favor because I'm willing to do so and so, whatever, there was. In case of small non-conformities or somewhere, you may ask for some more time. So those are the type of appeals. We have given 30 days, maybe some instrument calibration itself because of some workload took about 40 days. You could give some valid reasons and make an appeal ki chalo, give me some more time. I am willing to comply to the requirement. So that is appeal. Complaint is, of course, any expression of dissatisfaction, as you all know. Okay. So application fee and everything is given, basically, and all the schemes based on geographical location, anywhere you can charge the fee structure. Whatever the certification body charges should be publicly accessible, provided on request. Maybe you can put it on your website or maybe you can inform. And the consent to the fee structure is always obtained before grant of certification, which is the normal case, unless you agreed for the terms and conditions, how would a CB, proceed? Okay, next. Yeah, this is already told by Karthik, but again, it's here. So what should be the competency of the certification body? Personnel. So we have given various qualifications depending on the area of work. And this is all taken from the International Accreditation Forum or IAF MD9 document. As I told you, we would like this scheme to be expanded beyond the borders of our country. So we have maintained those same things which are there in MD9. So this is, I think you all can see. I don't have to explain on that. So the next. Team leader, yes, team leader is the lead assessor, as we call in some of the schemes. We would prefer him to be an IBSC trained professional, and IBSC courses, again, you can get from the AMTZ website, what courses are available, and it will be ideal if the team leader undergoes one of those courses. The program manager who's running the show can be a government recognized university. He should have a degree from a recognized university or technical college of medicine. Diploma also with 5 years. So all these are again given in the scheme. Where you see, we have to specify some minimum qualification, and of course there is that overriding criteria that qualification alone will not allow you to do the job. Your competency has to be witnessed and accepted. Yes, sir. Yeah, health scheme also almost same. Science graduate with 2 years, engineering graduate with 1 year experience, diploma 3 years, and again textile, microbiology, chemistry, biochemistry, material sciences. All these are, yeah, they are equivalent to any other ISO or NABH now. Yeah. Team leader, again, here also we say that he should have some qualification on healthcare textile processing, where from the college, university, skill center, or any such course of international equivalence is preferred. So we have not restricted it to one university here or something like that, because this is an open scheme we can have. I mean, ultimately the CB and AB have to agree for that this qualification is in line with the job he is doing, especially in the textile scheme. Program manager, yes, additional 1 year experience. Yes, right. Well,